Picture this. You've been cooking Asian food at home for years, and it never quite tastes like what you get at a good Japanese restaurant. The rice is sticky in all the wrong places. The vegetables taste flat. The meat feels heavy instead of clean. And somehow the whole meal just doesn't come together the way it does at a proper izakaya. What if I told you that Japanese home cooks and professional chefs have been using a collection of quiet, precise tricks for generations that solve every single one of these problems? Today, we are counting down 25 of the most useful Japanese kitchen secrets that actually work. And by the time we reach number 1, your entire approach to cooking is going to change. Let's get into it. Number 25, rinse your rice until the water runs almost clear. Most people rinse their rice once, maybe twice, and call it done. Japanese home cooks rinse 3 to 5 times, and there is a real reason for it. That cloudy water is surface starch, and if you leave it on, your rice cooks up gummy, clumped, and dull. Place your rice in a bowl, cover with cold water, swirl it gently with your fingers, and pour off the milky water. Repeat until the water is nearly transparent. The grains will cook up separate, glossy, and fluffy. This one habit alone will make your rice taste more expensive. Number 24. Rest your rinsed rice before you cook it. Here is the step almost every home cook skips. After rinsing, Japanese cooks let the rice sit in fresh water for 20 to 30 minutes before turning on the heat. During that soak, each grain slowly absorbs water evenly from the outside in. When cooking begins, the interior and exterior finish at the same time, which is why restaurant rice is never crunchy in the middle or blown out on the surface. It is patience, not equipment, that creates perfect rice. Number 23. Use kombu to make almost any liquid taste finished. Kombu is dried kelp, and a small piece dropped into water, broth, or even the pot you cook rice in transforms everything it touches. It releases natural glutamates that create a deep, savory backbone, and it does it without adding a single new flavor you can name. Just a 2-inch square in your cooking water is enough. This is the invisible secret behind why Japanese food tastes so clean and yet so satisfying at the same time. Number 22. Toast your sesame seeds right before you use them. Sesame seeds you buy pre-toasted have been sitting in a bag losing aroma for months. Japanese cooks toast their own in a dry pan for 2 minutes, just until they smell nutty and start to pop. The heat wakes up the oils inside each seed, and the difference between fresh toasted and pre-toasted is night and day. Grind them lightly with the back of a spoon or in a mortar right before scattering over vegetables, rice, or noodles. That single step will make everything you sprinkle them on taste twice as good. Number 21. Salt your fish 20 minutes before you cook it. Salting fish right before it hits the pan seasons only the surface. Japanese cooks salt their fish 20 to 30 minutes ahead and let it rest in the refrigerator, uncovered. The salt draws out excess moisture, tightens the flesh, and pulls out the fishy compounds that make home-cooked fish smell strong. Pat it dry before cooking, and you get fish that is firmer, cleaner tasting, and browns beautifully instead of steaming in its own liquid. Number 20. Use a splash of sake almost everywhere. Sake is not just for drinking. Japanese cooks use it constantly in marinades, sauces, and braises. It smells strong in the bottle but cooks off almost entirely in the pan, leaving behind a subtle nutty depth that makes sauces taste layered and complete. A tablespoon in a marinade, a splash into a simmering sauce, a little poured over fish before steaming. It costs a few dollars, lasts for months, and it is one of the fastest ways to make your cooking taste more professional. Number 19. Slice against the grain. Always. Look at any piece of meat and you will see lines running through it. Those are muscle fibers. If you slice with the grain, every bite is a mouthful of long, tough strands. If you slice against the grain, cutting those fibers into short pieces, the meat becomes noticeably more tender before it even touches heat. Japanese chefs are obsessive about this. Turn the meat until the lines run left to right, then slice top to bottom. That single knife decision changes the texture of the entire dish. Number 18. Freeze your meat for 15 minutes before slicing. Trying to slice raw meat paper thin at room temperature is a nightmare. It slides, it tears, and the slices come out uneven. Put the meat in the freezer for exactly 15 minutes before slicing. The outside firms up just enough to give you resistance while cutting, but the inside stays soft. You get clean, restaurant thin slices every single time, without any professional knife skills required. Number 17. Finish with sesame oil. Never cook with it. Sesame oil has a very low smoke point, and if you use it to fry anything, it turns bitter almost instantly. Japanese cooks never treat it as a cooking fat. They treat it as a finishing oil. Cook your dish in a neutral oil, then drizzle just half a teaspoon of sesame oil over everything right before serving. The aroma hits your nose the moment the plate lands on the table. And that fragrance is the difference between a home dinner and a meal that feels like it came out of a restaurant kitchen. Number 16. Blanch and shock. Your green vegetables. Boiling green vegetables until they are done is how you end up with limp, dull, olive-colored broccoli. Japanese cooks drop their greens into boiling salted water for 30 to 60 seconds, then plunge them straight into ice water. The heat cooks them just enough, and the ice locks in the vivid green color and the crisp bite. That two-step method takes an extra minute and completely changes how vegetables look and taste on the plate. Number 15. Make quick pickles with rice vinegar, sugar, and salt. Japanese home cooks always have a small dish of pickled vegetables on the table, and they take about 5 minutes to make. Slice cucumber, carrot, or radish thin. Toss with rice vinegar, a pinch of sugar, and a pinch of salt. Let it sit for 20 minutes. That is it. The result is a bright, crunchy, palate-cleansing side dish that costs almost nothing and makes any heavy main course feel lighter and more balanced. Number 14. Add miso at the end. Never let it boil. Miso paste is one of the most flavorful ingredients in the Japanese kitchen, but it is also the most fragile. High heat destroys the delicate aromatic compounds inside it, which is why boiled miso soup tastes flat and slightly bitter. Japanese cooks pull the pot off the heat first, then whisk the miso in through a small strainer or with the back of a spoon. That single change makes miso soup taste rounder, deeper, and more alive. Number 13. Use 2 soy sauces, not 1. Most kitchens have 1 bottle of soy sauce. Japanese cooks keep 2. Light soy sauce, which is actually saltier, is used for seasoning without darkening the color of a dish, especially useful for lighter fish and vegetables. Dark soy sauce is thicker and richer, used to give braises and grilled meats that deep glossy color. If your Japanese-inspired dishes always come out pale and one note, adding a small amount of dark soy sauce during cooking will immediately transform how they look and taste. Number 12. Rest your grilled meat before slicing it. The instinct with grilled meat is to slice it right away because it smells incredible. Do not. Japanese cooks rest their yakitori, their teriyaki chicken, and their grilled fish for a few minutes before cutting. Resting lets the juices redistribute back into the muscle fibers instead of running out onto the cutting board. The difference between rested and unrested meat is enormous. One is juicy, one is dry, and it is the same piece of meat with a 5-minute wait in between. Number 11. Toast your rice for takikomi gohan. Takikomi gohan is Japanese seasoned rice cooked with vegetables and meat in one pot. And the pro-level trick is to toast the raw rice in a little sesame oil before adding liquid. 2 minutes of stirring over medium heat coats each grain in fat, which controls how quickly water is absorbed during cooking. Each grain stays separate and slightly nutty instead of gluing itself to its neighbors. That one extra step turns a good rice dish into an unforgettable one. Number 10. Use dashi as the base of almost everything. Dashi is the mother stock of Japanese cooking. It is nothing more than water simmered with kombu and dried bonito flakes for a few minutes, then strained. It takes 10 minutes to make, and once you have it in the refrigerator, you have the foundation for miso soup, noodle broth, simmered vegetables, and a dozen sauces. Making dashi once a week is the single most impactful thing you can do to shift your home cooking toward an authentic Japanese flavor. Number 9. Coat vegetables in cornstarch before frying. If you have ever wondered why restaurant tempura and pan-fried vegetables come out light and crispy while yours come out soggy, the answer is a light dusting of cornstarch. Toss your cut vegetables in a thin coating just before they hit the hot oil. The starch creates a barrier that seals the surface, prevents moisture from escaping into the pan, and crisps into a delicate golden shell. It is the difference between vegetables that steam in their own water and vegetables that shatter when you bite them. Number 8. Use white pepper, not black, for cleaner heat. Black pepper has a sharp front of the tongue bite. White pepper has a warmer, deeper heat that sits at the back of the throat and blends into a dish instead of standing on top of it. Japanese cooks reach for white pepper constantly, especially in soups, egg dishes, and delicate broths. Toast white peppercorns briefly in a dry pan and grind them fresh, and the flavor is sharper, earthier, and more aromatic than anything you get from a pre-ground jar. Number 7. Fold. Do not stir when mixing sushi rice with vinegar. If you have ever tried making sushi rice at home and ended up with a mushy paste, this is why. Sushi rice is finished by mixing in a seasoned vinegar mixture, and the technique matters more than the recipe. Never stir. Use a wooden paddle or spatula and cut through the rice at an angle, folding gently from underneath while you fan the rice to cool it. Stirring breaks the grains. Folding coats them. The result is glossy, separate, perfectly seasoned rice. Number 6. Score your cucumber before you dress it. Whole slices of cucumber sit in dressing and stay bland in the center. Japanese cooks smack their cucumbers with the flat side of a knife until they crack, then break them into rough pieces. Those jagged, uneven surfaces have far more area for dressing to cling to, and the dressing penetrates all the way through instead of just coating the outside. Toss with rice vinegar, a touch of sesame oil, and salt, and let it sit for 20 minutes. You will taste the difference immediately. Number 5. Save the water from soaking dried mushrooms. Dried shiitake mushrooms need to be soaked before cooking, and the dark water left behind is one of the most valuable liquids in the kitchen. It is loaded with natural glutamates that make everything they touch taste more savory. Never pour it down the sink. Let it settle for 5 minutes, then carefully pour off the top, leaving the sediment behind. Use it in place of water or broth in stir-fries, simmered dishes, and sauces. It is free flavor concentrate. Number 4. Sear at high heat, finish at low heat. The mistake most home cooks make with meat and fish is choosing one temperature and cooking the entire piece at it. Japanese chefs sear first at very high heat to build a deeply flavored crust, then drop the temperature to finish cooking the interior gently. That two-stage approach gives you a beautiful brown surface and a tender, evenly cooked inside. High to low, not medium the whole way. Number 3. Use a chopstick to test oil temperature. You do not need a thermometer to fry properly. Japanese cooks have used a wooden chopstick for generations. Dip the tip into the hot oil. If nothing happens, the oil is too cold. If small bubbles form slowly around the tip, the oil is around 325 degrees, right for gentle frying. If bubbles stream up vigorously and continuously, the oil is around 375 degrees, ready for a hot, crispy finish. It is fast, it is reliable, and it costs nothing. Number 2. Stack multiple umami sources in one dish. The reason restaurant food tastes so much deeper than home cooking is that professional kitchens never rely on a single savory ingredient. Japanese chefs stack umami sources on top of each other. Kombu with bonito, miso with soy sauce, dried mushrooms with a splash of sake. Each source contains slightly different savory compounds that multiply against each other rather than just adding up. The combined effect is exponentially more satisfying than any single ingredient could ever produce on its own. Stop reaching for one bottle. Reach for 3. Number 1. The trick that genuinely changes everything. Pour your soy sauce down the side of a hot pan, not directly onto the food. This is the technique that separates home cooking from restaurant cooking, and almost nobody knows about it. Instead of pouring soy sauce straight onto your ingredients, pour it around the upper edge of the hot pan and let it run down the sides. As it slides down the scorching metal on the way to the food, the sugars in the soy sauce caramelize, and the entire flavor transforms. It becomes deeper, smokier, more complex, and it clings to every ingredient in a way that soy sauce added directly never does. It is the single technique that makes home-cooked stir-fries taste like something you paid for. Once you understand why it works and start doing it consistently, your cooking will never be the same again. And there you have it. 25 Japanese kitchen secrets that actually work tested by generations of home cooks and professional chefs who figured out that great food is really just about understanding why things work the way they do. Start with 3 or 4 of these this week. Rest your rinsed rice, finish with sesame oil, stack your umami sources, and pour your soy sauce down the side of the pan. Your cooking will improve dramatically and immediately. If this video helped you, drop a comment below telling me which trick surprised you the most. Subscribe if you want more deep dive Japanese kitchen content like this, and I will see you in the next video.